everybody, Dr. T here. Today we are going to talk about Christmas and DV to elaborate on my short video from Wednesday. The Christmas period often brings with it a reported increase in police callouts for incidences of domestic abuse. Financial pressures, alcohol on tap, trying to create the perfect Christmas, and being cooped up together for long periods all contribute to a regular rise in domestic abuse. Christmas is meant to be the most wonderful time of year, but we know that for victims and children experiencing DV, it is far from this and can be frightening and isolating time. We know that for victims experiencing economic abuse, the run-up to Christmas with its expectations and additional expenses can be particularly hard. A survey done by a family law company found that 1 in 6 respondents believed they were more likely to suffer emotional or physical abuse from their partner over the Christmas period. 4 in 10 were scared that the Christmas period would lead to the end of their marriage. Around a third said that money was the chief cause of strain on their relationship. And 2 in 10 said that spending time with the wider family was likely to trigger tension within their partner. So what is the cause of the rise in incidents? It's important to note that while a rise in incidences can be seen over Christmas, it is not the events themselves that cause abuse. Rather, they provide an excuse for perpetrators to exert more power and control over an intimate partner. Perpetrators of abuse choose to act abusively and should always be held responsible for their own behavior. Many perpetrators will use Christmas and other factors, such as alcohol, finances, or mental health, to excuse their abusive behaviors, or more often than not, blame their victim for the abuse. The Christmas period causes further difficulties for victims with fewer opportunities to report abuse and routes to safety shut down. School closures for the holidays also mean that opportunities for children to report abuse and access support are restricted. Children Help Centers are equally concerned, estimating that 3.2% of those under 11 and 2.5% of 11 to 17-year-olds have been exposed to domestic violence in the past year. This means that potentially at least 15,000 children will be exposed to domestic violence over the 2-week Christmas period. If a victim plans to leave, it is not always the case that leaving an abusive partner will increase a victim's safety, and research has established that. In many cases, domestic abuse from an intimate partner does not end upon separation. Post-separation can actually see an escalation of abuse, with victims reporting continued threats and intimidation when leaving their abusive partner. Separated parents are often under greater pressure from an abusive ex over the Christmas period. When looking to vary contact for the festive season, the safety of the children should always be the primary concern. And when considering the potential risks that a perpetrator poses to the victim, past behavior is the most reliable indicator of future behavior. A lack of child care support can also cause vulnerable parents to turn to ex-partners for help and support, with added stress from school breaks, overriding the assessed risk from the abuser. Separated abusers can also use guilt to coerce victims into allowing contact, particularly over the Christmas period. If this is the case, contact law enforcement, and if the abuser has visitation, agree to meet at the local law enforcement station to transfer custody of the children, to lessen the chances of any abuse to occur during the transfer. It is important that safety planning is carried out with all families that are living with domestic abuse, which should have the children's safety and protection as the primary concern. Where social workers are already working with a family that are remaining together, both the victim and the perpetrator should be included in the planning. Older children should also be involved so that they have a safe route out of the home with a place of safety arranged in advance. Remember, just because it's the holidays does not mean that you have to endure abuse from an abusive partner. If you are still with your abuser and fear the holidays will escalate the abuse, make a safety plan with someone you trust and possibly use this as an escape to leave the relationship. The abuser may be too preoccupied with family or friends and holiday events to realize what has happened until you are safe at a safe location. If this is not a safe way to escape, do not attempt it. Your safety is the number one priority. Remember, abuse is never your fault, no matter the reason or the season. Please have a safe and happy holiday.
If you or someone you know is in an abusive situation, call the National Helpline at 1-800-799-SAFE or text START to 88788. Everyone deserves a healthy relationship.